and again, and this time the game didn't crash. So welcome to the round 2 of the Manufacturers Cup. This is around Tokyo Expressway South, what is this, counterclockwise? Yeah, we are going counterclockwise. And we start here with the qualifying lap. Ignore this one, it's actually the next one, which is my best lap. And this circuit was a bit tricky because I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've actually used this track for like sport mode. So I've raced here a bit in like lobby races because it's a really fun track. It's a really fast-paced track. But adjusting to sport mode where everyone else is pretty much aiming to really be on top was really something to really try and get used to. But as we go into the docks, which is for me I can't do this part for the life of me, I swear to God. I lose so much time going through here in the race, in practice, and in qualifying. I just never get it right. And the key to this track is really nailing your exits because there are 3 exits that you need to get right. The final corner, the first corner, and that corner that we just went by because they lead onto these massive straights that go on for like 10 plus seconds. As we're up here, I'm just going to quickly zoom in so I can actually see the numbers as I'm editing this. This hairpin coming up right now is kind of realistically the only place you can overtake on this track from my experience. So that's something we need to worry about. And this corner has like 2 lines. There's the really wide line where you purposely go wide and then come back in for a better exit, or just a nice line like I took there. Either one works. As we pass here, we are 6/10 up. Pretty good, right? But I really mess up this final sector, which really sucks. Because this final sector, I'm usually pretty strong at, but on my actual lap, I've completely stuffed it up. It doesn't look like I have, but I have. And that's like maybe 6/10 blue on that sector. We lost 2/10, which isn't great. But we're going to fast forward because I'm not going to be able to complete this lap because the end of qualifying time is 1:30 and the lap here is nearly 2 minutes. Which really, really sucks. As we go to the final sector split, it's 24 seconds, I'm not going to make the line. We're going to cross the sector split here. Where is it? Come on. We're 2/10 up, so if I kind of nail this section, or do the same lap time as before for this sector, I would be 55 flat, or at least in the high 54s. And that's going to become really important, because P4 is a 55 flat. So if that lap counted, I would be in P4, as I'm furiously pointing the pointer at where I would be if qualifying was another lap. So here we go. We're straight to start the race here. And this race is really dynamic because the MR cars are slower, inherently slower. They're better in the corners, but they're slower. But at the front of this pack, we have a Supra and a Mercedes. The Supra is easily the most dominant fast car in this game. It's been the most dominant car since sport mode. And by sport mode, I mean GT Sport, which, when did that come out? I don't know at this point. But you can see we've already been gapped, which isn't great, but we are still in a tow. So this race was more like, it felt more like a NASCAR race. It was just everyone bumping each other, staying in tow, staying in groups, and really just bumping each other along away from the group behind. And that's what we're trying to do here. I think behind me is a Supra, I'm pretty sure, and that's a bad thing. So I'm trying to really bump away from it. I want to keep this race into this 6-horse race at the front end of the field here. So we're just going to be bumping each other here, or at least staying friendly. The name of the game is, you're going to make friends. If you don't have friends, make some. You're going to make some fast, or you're going to fly straight to the back of the pack. And I think going into this corner here, there's a little bit of squabbling, yep, a bit of fractured lines, I suppose. And as I'm trying to get a good exit here, everyone in this lobby is pretty damn close to each other on pace, so the only thing that would really separate the groups is honestly a mistake on one of the exits, because like I said in qualifying, the exits around this track are crucial, because if you mess it up, you're going to get a really bad run and you'll probably lose the toe to the group ahead of you. And if someone ahead of you makes a mistake, the best thing you gotta do is just bump them, because if you pass them and you get into a fight, you'll instantly lose that group ahead and you're cooked. That's the end of your run. So if someone ahead of you makes a mistake, bump them, or if they let you pass, pray that they start bumping you, basically, because all the action of this race, or this pretty much race for like 14 laps, is just making sure you're in it to win it for that final lap-ish where everyone pretty much makes their moves. It's literally like a NASCAR race, or an oval race. So as you can see, the Supra is the engine of this train, basically, and it's gonna stay like this for pretty much the entire race, nearly. As we're going on to this tunnel straight, Honda didn't get a really good launch there. You can see that gap visibly getting bigger, so I bumped him, keep us in the fight. And again, don't want to lose a toe. Try and count how many times I mentioned losing a toe in this video, because it is that important. As we're coming up to the hairpin again, I think more squabbling. I think mostly that R8 coming out of line, trying to overtake. As we're going to the hairpin, Supra on my right there, and he gets a bad launch because he was trying to fight me there. So he loses some time, and again I'm trying to lose that Supra. But, oh, and as you can see there, the Porsche maybe got a little bit too close to the wall and got absolutely sent to the Shadow Realm. So he's out, he's completely left the lobby, he knows it, there's no coming back from that. As we go on to this final corner here, and Honda makes another mistake, and gap gets bigger, but we got to bump him. So in this first period of the race, I feel like I am faster than that Honda easily. But I know if I make a move, it will slow both of us down. And we'll be screwed. Oh god, I think I've got the hiccups again. I think this is like the third recording where I have hiccups. Ugh. As I come down to the docks, like I said in qualifying, weakest spot of the track. For me personally. As we come in, and not much really changing, except that Mercedes is really going door banging with that Supra as it takes the lead. So now we've got a new steam engine on the front, and that's a Mercedes. Not as quick as the Supra, but it's still quicker than this Huracan, the NSX, and the Audi in front. As we go onto this straight, we're starting to lose that Supra behind, which is good. So we're breaking that gap, we're increasing that gap to the Supra behind, so it won't be much of a threat, because dealing with a Supra ahead is already a challenge enough. Dealing with two of them, yeah, I don't want that. As we bump that Honda going in, and this R8 again is going, breaking the line, changing lines, going to that corner, really weird. But we're only a second away from the lead, so you can tell like this is really, really close. You can see that gap behind to the Supra. We're already over a second, just over a second, and we're going to start losing it, I think. Again, once we get out onto the straight, the might of the Supra is not enough for the power of friendship. As we go on the straight, we're just going to gain time again, and yeah, that Supra is in the dust. As momentarily we're going to cut ahead as we take the fastest lap to the pit stop window, which is about lap 8, 9, or 7, 8, 9. And come on, edit, let's move on here. Yes, the Supra is getting cut away, don't even look back. Here we go. So we're going on to lap 7 here, and you can see that gap to the Supra is already 2.5 seconds. It's that. So this battle is now a battle of 5, and you can see the Super's taking ahead in front of the group again. But I don't know what happens. It makes a mistake or something, but then it pulls left. But nobody decides to pull left, and everyone decides that, hey, let's just tow the Mercedes ahead. As everyone moves to the side, and you can see the power of the tow. That Supra's gone from P1 to the back of the group minus me. As I'm a lot better on the brakes and close right up to the back of it. And that really just shows you the power of the tow around it, that even something as fast as Supra can't stay ahead if no one decides to bump it. As we're going to go onto this, this track doesn't have a corner name, so I'm really like, what corner is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We're coming out of 6. And we're all bumpy again. And this is where the strategy comes in, because we're coming up to the pit window here. We're all trying to pretty much stay in a group. So if one pits, others are going to pit, because we don't want to lose the tow. But as you can see, the Supra's going to the left, the Mercedes is going to the left, and them two are going to be going to the pit lane, which is interesting and a bad thing, I think, for us. I should have gone into the pit lane there because I was right behind the Supra. Because now we don't have a fast engine ahead towing all of us. Mercedes has gone in and the Supra's gone in. So now we're relying on MR power, which isn't that strong, to be honest, with the R8, the Honda and the Huracan. Nowhere as strong as the Supra. As this is our pit lap now. We're going to go in together as a group. As I don't know what happens here, but the R8 goes really wide and the Honda's able to capitalize on it. But the Audi makes a bit of a mistake here as he bumps the wall there and goes into the wall on the left. So that's a free position just for the pit stops. Perfect, because passing in this race is at a premium. As we come to the pit lane and we have a decision to make, tyres or no tyres. We take the tyres because even though the tow is powerful, we need the grip to get out of those corners. So we change the tyres, the Lamborghini boys at work. As we come out, the Mercedes goes past and the Supra goes past, but they've got a rolling start there, so they're going to gap us a little bit here. But because they've got a gap, a pretty sizable gap, it's only about 2 seconds, but that 2 seconds means we're cut off from our main engine that we were using to really pull ourselves from that first stint. As the NSX goes wide, hits the wall and moves aside, so now it's my job to try and catch him. And you'll see the gap is, hold on, let me zoom in here real quick, 2.5 seconds, give or take. So we're going to speed the footage up at some point. There we go. And you'll see that gap is just going to keep going up. Maybe not down this straight, which is really weird, so a mistake must have been made. But again, I'm really bad at this dock section, so the gap goes up. And going down this back tunnel straight, that it's just going to keep going up and up and up, and there's nothing we can do about it. We don't have a fast car leading our train, so, and that's the Supra and a Mercedes, so they're completely fine. And this is what I meant when I said I should have gone into the pit lane when the Supra and the Mercedes went in, because I'd be up there with them in that group, and they'd be pulling me away from these two guys. As we stop the fast up, and yep, they've gained an entire second on us, and the NSX is coming right back at me here, so you know what, I'm just going to concede. We still have 5 laps to go, so we'll just keep being friendly with these guys. We're all friends here until we betray each other at the end, which is inevitable, and all 3 of us know it, so we're just having some temporary peace, as some would say. As we're going to skip forward a bit, because again, most of this race is just bumped off things, sitting in tow, not really overtaking each other. As we go to lap 12, however, I have another chance to go for the lead, as the NSX goes really defensive here, and I break on my marks. He goes a little wide, but just because he's gone a little wide doesn't mean the move's over, because he's got a really good launch, and that propels him in front of the R8. And now I think all 3 of us know, in our minds, the gap is now 5.5 seconds. We're not catching them, so now this is a battle between us 3. And from there, I need to defend this lead. to the end. And I don't think I've got any more jump cuts from here. No, I don't. So yeah, it's lap 14, we're on the penultimate lap. Going down the tunnel straight. I'm just going to call it the tunnel straight. It's a pretty cool name for a straight. As the NSX is right behind me again, and we're going to go side by side here. Not really what you'd like, because the washout's going to make you go a little wide there, as he does. And again, I'm going to break on my marks. As I go through the hairpin, something weird's going to happen here. I don't really know why, but the NSX must have got a really bad launch. Must hit the wall. And for the first time, the gap is above half a second. So I've got a little bit of breathing room going into this final lap, but I know that them two just bumping each other will easily get them up to me by tunnel straight. Easily. But now my job is really just to keep them behind me for this last lap. And it's, at this point I was really stressed, because I've got no one in front of me to help me down the straights, which is, again, like 80% of this track. And as we go through the first corner here, not as slick as I would like. They gain half a tenth there. Going down the straight, they're going to gain maybe another 2/10 by the time we get to the braking zone. So holding this position is not going to be easy. And yeah, so they're now 2.5 tenths. As we go through the dock section, they're already queuing up behind me, both of them. And we go through here, not a great exit. They gain more time, but at this point, it's inevitable they're going to go for a move into that hairpin. As I said before, that hairpin is pretty much the only place to overtake on this track. I know it, the guy behind me knows it, and the R8 behind him knows it. So now it's just, can I defend? I'm really hoping this NSX doesn't get past me before the corner, but it does. So I'm going to slot in, but I make a crucial mistake here. I should have followed that NSX, but I leave the door open for the R8. I'm really trying to pull across, but I can't anymore because it's right there. So I break on my marks as I try to really hook it in, but the NSX is in the way. I give him a slight nudge that kind of pushes him forward. He was always going to get a good launch, but now he's in third. And I've lost 2 positions in one corner. Now I'm really praying for a mistake here to try and get past this R8. I don't think the NSX is too far here. As we're going through here, I'm really hoping for that. Yep, I'm really praying for that R8 to make a mistake, hit the wall or something. I need something, but unfortunately, it's a P5. We've gone from P3, the podium, to P5 in one corner. And that's it. After pretty much 30 minutes of just very, very close pack racing, we end up in P5. Not a bad result from coming, I think it was P11 or P10, I don't really remember where we started. So pretty good yields, can't complain, but damn, we lost the podium. Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed, but seeing where we started, pretty happy with that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys hopefully when the next round of manufacturers is up, which is around Autopolis, which is another weak track of mine. So I'll see you then.